Ugh, daylight savings time just ended. We fell back. I guess you call it gained an hour. So some of us maybe slept in, some of us got up at the same time. But boy, does this do a doozy on us. Let's talk about winter blues and S.A.D, seasonal affective disorder, and how we can prevent that this year, how we can move forward and not go backwards, even though we're falling back, because this is what happens. It gets darker. All right. Yuck. Darker it's we have light in the morning, which is great because I love having it daylight. I love seeing the sun, but I hate that it starts getting dark around 5:30. It just seems like your day's over, right? The days get shorter. But what also happens during that time is that it does something to our psyche. It does something to cause us to have, we call it sometimes winter blues, seasonal affective disorder. Some of us who might suffer from depression might have more symptoms during this time. So let's talk about how we can maybe circumvent that, maybe prevent, maybe make it better. But let me put a disclaimer here because I am not diagnosing any condition and I'm not prescribing anything for these conditions. If you suffer from depression, if you suffer from seasonal affective disorder, we'll talk about all of those. But if it is something that is really troubling you, that you're having just trying to get out of bed and moving during the day, please seek help. There's no shame in the game to seek help. That being said, let's talk about things that we can do to help seasonal affective disorder or the winter blues or the blahs. I have seasonal affective disorder. It's been diagnosed. It happens around this time of year when the days get shorter. And these are tips that I use that have helped. And I hope that maybe they will help you. And that way, when it becomes January, because what happens is we end up kind of gaining weight because of seasonal affective disorder and winter blues. And then we're like, oh my God, it's January. Oh my God, look what I did. How did I do that? How did that happen? And then you feel guilty and shame going into the new year. We're not going to do that this year. This year, we're going to do a couple things. If you listen to me all the time, it's really the same things I always say. It's getting down to the basics. It's working on our nutrition. It's working on our habits and making sure we're not putting our PJs on at 5 p.m. because that's really what we want to do. I mean, really, that's really what I want to do. PJs, get under the covers, and hibernate. This year, no hibernation. So, what are we going to do? First and foremost, get outside and see the sunshine. You need to set that circadian rhythm. That will also help the chemicals in your brain. It's going to help set the day. And next thing you'll want to do is move. I know we love to sit. I know we get focused on what we're doing and we want to sit. Use that. If you have an Apple Watch and it tells you to get up, use it. Move, walk. That movement is also going to help with that seasonal affective disorder. Number 2, have a plan. And I mean plan with nutrition, plan with your exercise, and stick to it. That's what's hard. It gets dark, especially if you work out at night. You're like, oh, just want to go home, put my PJs on and watch TV. Okay, I get that. But put in your calendar, make an appointment with yourself or a friend, have some accountability, get a coach that's going to keep you accountable. This is the best time to actually start a program. These are some of my biggest, I would say, nutrition groups because of finding that accountability and finding that plan actually during the holidays and during the holiday season so that you learn how to navigate the winter and the holidays and that you're actually starting ahead of the game in January. Pretty cool, right? Starting ahead of the game in January instead of falling behind. So nutrition has to be pretty much on point, meaning that it doesn't be perfect because perfect doesn't exist, but that you have made sure that sugar is not the number one thing that you're eating. that you are getting your fruits and vegetables, that you're getting your protein, that you are getting your macronutrients, your protein, your fat, your carbohydrates, and not just carbs. And I'm not talking fruits and vegetables. I'm talking chips, pizza, pie, pasta. It's always the things that start with a P, right? It's not those kind of carbs. The carbs that are going to impact your blood sugar and spike you up. It also crashes you, and that will increase your symptoms of seasonal affective disorder. That will increase your symptoms of anxiety, of depression. You don't want to do that. You don't want those highs and lows of those sugar crashes because it's also going to affect your psyche. We don't want that. So work with the nutrition, going with whole food nutrition, getting your protein, getting your fats, and getting your fruits and vegetables. That's probably the best thing that you can do. And then number 2 is moving your body. We already said about, we wanted you to get outside and move and, use that Apple Watch, but moving your body at least 30 minutes a day. Get some sweat. Start lifting weights to get your metabolism going and build muscle, because that is also going to help. Why is it going to help? Because you are, when I say pump you up, but the reason it's helping is that it does send those endorphins. When we work out, we do get an endorphin release. We get those endorphins are your happy hormones. They make everything like, oh my God, it's so great. They're like little, I would say little rainbows, Hello Kitty unicorns, right? It's those little happy, it's like we say happy clouds, but little happy endorphins to keep you feeling great and to give you energy and to give you a little bit of a spark. You pair that with nutrition, you pair that with your exercise, stellar. I don't know what number we're on, 3, 4. Let's talk about sleep. For those of us with seasonal affective disorder, winter blues, it's very easy actually to get our sleep plus more. Yeah. It's not getting a little sleep. It's almost getting too much sleep. It's hitting those naps. It's going to bed at 6 p.m. and not getting up the next day till 6 a.m. If that is where you are and you can't get out of bed and you don't have the energy and all you want to do is when you get home from work is crawl under the covers and you don't have the energy to think about anything else, that's when it's time to get help. If it's just something because it's getting dark and you're like, I just want to be in my PJs, you want to go still for 7 to 9 hours, not the 12 to 13 hours. That's where the nutrition comes in. That's where moving your body comes in. And then think about having a winter project. Maybe you want to read a book. Maybe it's doing something like, hey, a YouTube video, or maybe it's picking up a second language or something, but doing something that's going to stimulate your brain and that's going to keep you active and going to keep you from hitting the bed at 5:36 when you get home from work or when you stop working. That's going to do a lot in your favor. And what you should notice is when you have the nutrition without the sugar and when you have the exercise, that's actually going to help you not feel like you want to go to bed. Now, I can't do anything about the sun going down at 5:30. That's just the way it's going to be until December 21st, when we start getting lighter a little bit every day. But we can make this bearable. We can make this better. We can, maybe not have so much of the winter blues and move forward instead of actually falling backwards. I'll see you guys next week. And please like, share, subscribe, help other people with this knowledge. And thanks for tuning in. Be healthy.